All right, good morning. Still haven't found my external microphone. We'll do that. Definitely we'll do that before we start doing some proper learning. Today is rubbish collection day. So you're going to see some very exciting footage of me taking my wheelie bin out to the curb. Yep, quite exciting. You see, I thought for a couple of reasons I would film it, and mostly because every Thursday is like the biggest struggle of my life to try and get out of the door on time, because you add one thing into the routine, which is drag the wheelie bin out to the curb. And we're not talking this is a long task. No. According to the footage, we're talking 2-3 minutes, and yet that 2-3 minutes can mean that I'm 15 minutes later getting out the door than usual. Okay, so woke up with my hair like this, put a little hair oil in the ends, smell like peaches, that's exciting. Got to go and buy some groceries shortly, waiting until 9 o'clock when they open, because I've got 3 eggs. 3 eggs is exactly the right number for breakfast, and I don't eat eggs. However, I need 4 eggs to make my lemon tart. You can see the conundrum there. So here I was last night, I made my pastry, quite impressed with the pastry, to be honest, because normally this is just an asshole of a pastry. It just flakes apart and you just can't make it look pretty. And how are you supposed to impress anybody with a below average pastry crust, you know? So here I was, made my sweet pastry, ready to make my lemon filling, and then not enough eggs. Bag full of lemons, thanks Dave and Khalid, but no eggs. So eggs this morning, lemon tart later. Apple and caramel danishes though will definitely happen. Here's what I'm thinking: custard, slices of apple. Oh. There's part of me that says sprinkling of coconut sugar, but that's the same part of me that says eat a peach, you'll enjoy it. I don't know if I'm allergic to coconut sugar. I'm allergic to coconut. Is today the day we find out? Who knows? Who knows indeed. It probably won't be the day we find out, because the likelihood of the Featherston supermarket having coconut sugar is very, very low. And I don't think I've got any in the pantry. Though I know I don't have any in the pantry, but I know I've owned it before and then ended up using it in something that I didn't eat. I'm still touching my face, but here's my theory. I've just washed my hands because I took the wheelie bin out. I didn't put that footage in because who cares? You've had enough of hearing about washing your hands and face. And my hair's looking lovely, so I'm going to touch my hair a lot before 9 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock I will braid it, and it will look vaguely unicorny, but not as unicorny as we want it to look. And then I will go and buy groceries and not die. Today's officially 2 weeks since we've been in official lockdown, or over 2 weeks that it's been since being at school, and all we keep hearing about is being prepared for school next week. We are going to have some Google Hangouts of some description, but they're not going to be every day, because at the moment I think I've got to schedule the Google Hangouts to be during the times where the lesson would be running. But I'm hoping to negotiate that, because there are level 2s and 3s in both lines, and there's, well, I think there's only year 11. Well, there's year 11s in both classes, but I only think I need to worry about the year 11s in one class because they're double ups. Hey, Katie Taylor. Yeah, so for the benefit of like Adam and Michael and all them, it would be nice to be able to just talk to all of the year 12s and 13s together at the same time. While I'm aware that you've got classes with other people, it would be handy to be able to, you know, talk at the same time rather than have a small conversation with just 3 people about script writing, when we could have a massive conversation with everybody. Because otherwise, how do we get the quality Willie Dennison that we all know and love? Cut my hand yesterday, no idea how, no idea when. Did actually cut my fingernail the other night while I was chopping vegetables. Part of me was like, we know how this ends, and then I didn't cut all the way through the fingernail because I was using a blunt knife. That's my trick right there. Did successfully cut parsley last night. Made garlic and rosemary and parsley roll bite things They were great. Like garlic bread, but the garlic's on the inside. But not buttery enough, so I need to change that recipe. There'd be some way of making... I wonder if you could just... Yeah, I'm just dreaming about dairy products, let's be honest. Okay, what is particularly important today? You're going to get a link in your email, and I can't put this link on the YouTube because we've paid for this. Or we will pay for this. The invoices come in, and at some point when school opens again, it'll be paid. Centrepoint Theatre in Palmerston North, they had a challenge with 10 professional scriptwriters, and on Saturday at some point they were given 24 hours to write a monologue, so a play for one person. It's 10 minutes long, on the theme of escape. I'll tell you what my theme of escape is. I would like it to rain so hard that I could just slide out the front door on my kayak and have nobody question it. Except that would mean my entire neighbourhood was underwater, in which case I don't really want that. I just really miss being out on the water while looking at... I see some blue sky. Anyway, this is not the sun. This is just a light in my ceiling. Did I want LED lights everywhere? No, it's called a compromise. I had... Yeah, long story. To be honest, I don't really care about lighting, so other people chose the lights. Right, what was I saying? 10 people wrote monologues, and then they had 10 actors perform the monologues who were given another 24 hours to prepare what they were going to do with them. And they were released on Centrepoint Theatre's website yesterday at 12 o'clock. Now, I sat there and watched some of these. I watched like 4, because I don't think I can sit longer than that. And then I wrote a report for Mr. Fuller, and that took me about 3 hours, and sitting down on a chair for 3 hours, oh my God, honestly. If you're just sitting there and you're typing stuff for that length of time, how do people cope? Honestly, I'm not cut out for a desk job. I'm just not. You know, I have a desk, I have a job, but I've definitely learned in the last 2 weeks that does not mean that I have a desk job. Took a couple of phone calls yesterday while baking, so that was exciting. I've got plenty of news about Shakespeare, and I've got plenty of news about Booktown. And on the news about Booktown, Booktown's definitely going to happen. It's just going to change its format. And one of the things that is happening, because we've been reading the children's stories, the New Zealand publishers... Let's call them the New Zealand Publishers Association, because I don't really want to open my computer and find out the name of the group of people who are in charge of copyright for books. Basically, they've said we can read anything without breaching copyright for the entirety of lockdown. And then through Booktown and a couple of their contacts, they're going to televise our readings. I know, right? So if you would like to find a children's book and you would like to make a video of yourself reading it, or just as some of the others have done where you've got the book and you turn the pages and you read along with it, you may send those in to me. You will also need to write that you have given Booktown permission to televise your recording. If you're under 16, you'll need to include that your parental units have given you permission as well. So if nothing else, we can become television famous. This is not exactly being the guest newsreader on breakfast television, which is still my aim. Still absolutely my aim. Such as my aim is to have a whiteboard up there, and I would like to have a whiteboard up there before class starts, because how am I supposed to teach without a whiteboard? I don't really use the whiteboard. But it's really not the point. You know, honestly, I'm just touching my face. That's today's treat for myself, is I'm touching my face and I'm making a lemon tart and apple danishes, because I want to... You see, that bit is a pleasant sort of... Is that pink or is it the light shade? I like it's kind of silvery pink. However, it's not the shade we're going for. This is not Apocalypse Pink yet, but it will be. So, your readings will be televised. The link that you'll have for the monologues, there's a password that I will send you to your email. And what I'd like you to do, particularly if you're a year 12 or 13, is to watch through a few of them. You don't have to do them all at once. Oh, Fantail. Oh, my window's all shut. Yes, they are. So sidetracked just then, even for me. Monologues. Watch one, watch two. They'll say at the beginning if the content is, you know, violent or any of that kind of stuff. The first one, for instance, is just not. There's nothing offensive about it, but it's quite clever. That's the Roger Hall one. I feel like I want to cough, but the same part of me says, "Oh, Dan, don't cough on a video. Not while there's a pandemic on." Best laid plans of mice, eh? Anyway, so watch a couple of those monologues. The Roger Hall one's nice and inoffensive. The second one that's up there is, it starts off and you're like, oh, that's a bit dark. And then it gets a bit darker and you're like, oh, that's a bit dark. And then it gets a little bit further on and you're like, oh, clever. Yeah, so just if you do not have to watch them all, if you get one and there's either a trigger warning or a warning there that you're not interested in the content, or you don't feel like you're old enough to watch it, by all means don't. But the main reason why I want you to have a watch of them is that they are original scripts that have been written and performed during lockdown, basically with lockdown as part of one of the themes there. And they're actually really good. So as we're working towards starting writing scripts next week, it's nice to have a look and see what people are writing and what scripts look like and stuff like that. What's going to happen in the next few days is they're going to be releasing videos just for schools like ours who have paid the money, or at least we will pay the money when the school gets opened again, and the lady who pays the money pays the money. They're releasing the videos of the playwrights talking about the process and the difficulties and the challenges, as well as the actors of doing this while in lockdown. That's the bit that I actually thought was the most relevant and important for us at this time that we're at. So there's some original theatre for you to be watching. We'll put another couple of links down in the description below of some other original theatre pieces. Ollie Hammett, morning Ollie Hammett, flicked across one that he found, full-length, full original Broadway cast version of Hamilton, if you like a jolly good sing-along. I don't think the Hugh Jackman Oklahoma is up there anymore, but you've still got today to watch One Man, Two Governors, and it's totally worth it. If you enjoy clowning and that sort of thing, it's right up your alley. Yeah, no, they've done a very good job with the script, because I'm not even going to rant about it, because at some point I'll rant about it. Shout out to Buck Daddy, because Buck Daddy's been downloading these things and putting them into a Google Drive for me, because he's the bro. He's the bro. I could do it myself, only I don't have the technical know-how or the ability to fit everything on my computer, because my computer is trash. But Buck Daddy does. And so we keep Buck Daddy on, and Buck Daddy is a good man. So shout out to Buck Daddy. What are you going to see in the end of this video? In this video, you're going to see a highlight reel of me putting out my rubbish. You're going to see a couple of things from what people have been up to over this holidays. And more importantly, we accidentally did start the puppy and kitten competition. It's not even really so much a competition, but what you need to do is to send me pictures of your dogs and your cats. You can send a picture of what they look like now. You can send a picture of what they look like when they were a puppy. In the event that they actually are a puppy, by all means, send current footage. You know, just go wild and crazy. Puppies and kittens. Because if we can fill a video for Good Friday of puppies and kittens, brilliant. The other thing I would say is, if you have got stuffed rabbits and you can draw some Easter eggs, bung them on the windows at the front of your house for the bear hunt people. We've got bears in the front window. The front window is Dilip's home office, and so it's slightly less manly, as he would like it to be, which I keep changing out the Care Bears in the window. Every time I do this, I do have to make sure that he's not on a video call, because I'm not sure how his workmates would cope with me walking past with a bunch of colourful bears and swapping them with another bunch of colourful bears. But these are him problems more than me problems, to be honest. Yeah, so make sure that you've got your bears and stuff out, because it's really cute when you see the little people spot them. And as Auntie Jacinda's got the colouring competition at the moment for the Easter egg, find the Easter egg one or draw the Easter egg if you can't have it, if you don't have a printer. Put that in your window as well, because if we can make small children smile, because I know how anxious I've been, therefore I can multiply that and know how anxious you've all been, and we can all multiply that and try and see how anxious and confused people who are in their really early years are, because they don't understand why they can't do something or why they can't go to the park. So anything to bring joy to those little faces. So on the bringing joy to those little faces, definitely if you can read some children's stories, that would be amazing. This morning I'm hoping to get my hands on a copy of Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy. The last time I had a copy, I gave it away to the housekeeper in my apartment in China. I don't have many good stories like that, but I have the occasional one. That's basically the entire story. She spoke no English and I spoke, well, let's just say no Chinese, because I lost Chinese while being in China. However, we got on like a house on fire through the subtle art of mime. Yeah. Most of you have got your Shakespeare stuff all done, dusted and sorted, so just make sure you don't forget your lines, because we are going to do those performances when school gets back up and running. But we will be doing script writing, and we'll be doing work on a significant play in the Year 11 class as of next week. So watch the monologues, use your password that's going to be in the email. Read your children's story, because they're going to be on television, and send me pictures of your puppies and kittens, and make sure you've got a window that's decorated for the little children who are doing the bear hunt and the Easter egg hunt, because they're the ones who are suffering even more than we are at the moment. And other than the fact that I keep running out of eggs, I'm now at a point in my life where that's the biggest issue with yesterday. Anyway, love you all, miss you all. Hopefully we're halfway through this, so don't be stupid over Easter. Encourage your families not to be stupid over Easter, because the longer that we're in this, the worse it is for everybody. Yay, halfway through lockdown. Okay, have a significantly fantastic day. I will now go and make breakfast, and this should hopefully be uploaded by the time... I was going to say it's going to be uploaded by the time you see it. Of course it's going to be uploaded by the time you see it. I can't even send the email or even write the email until it's starting to upload. And breakfast doesn't cook itself. Which is good, because otherwise I'd be bored. Every morning. What is it? It's now currently 7 o'clock. This is probably one of my later videos. But I decided to read a book. Okay, I decided to look at words on a page rather than actually read, because it turns out I'm not very good at comprehending words at the moment, but that's okay. Monologues, puppies and kittens, Easter eggs, children's storybook readings. Okay? Take care. I shall see you on the flip side when we all get out of this. Love you, miss you. Air high fives. Bye!